Yo, it's Trivelli, I'm back, and today I'm going to be telling you guys why I believe Oregon has probably the best chance to make the college football playoff out of any team in the country, including Alabama, and I'll explain that later. So if you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get this channel out to as many people as possible. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so you get my daily notifications for when I'm dropping videos, which is going to be Monday through Friday, because I'm never slacking. Now, let's jump into the action.
I'm living life like this. Maybe give a little glimpse, maybe give a little glimpse.
Okay, so Oregon so far is ranked number 3 in the AP and number 4 in the coaches poll, and these fans have a lot to be excited about. Now, ESPN is giving them a 40% chance to make the playoff as of right now, but I think this is going to greatly increase over time, and I think that they have a much better chance than 40%, and this is why. We could talk about their performance versus Ohio State, of course. They looked very crisp on offense. The offensive line actually performed much better in this game than versus Stony Brook, even though they blew them out, and Fresno State, who ended up showing that they're a very good team. So that close win versus Fresno State week 1 is not as bad as it may look on the schedule, because look, Fresno State obviously just beat UCLA. So they did what they had to do versus Fresno. They get a nice win on the road versus Ohio State that completely changes the landscape of their season, and then they rout Stony Brook. But Anthony Brown, their all-purpose quarterback who does pretty much everything, got knocked out in that game before halftime, and that's due to the offensive line's inconsistency. They need to clean this up as soon as possible. But I like what I see from Anthony Brown on the season so far. He needs to be a little bit more accurate, but his big play potential is obviously there. He doesn't turn the ball over. 4 touchdowns to 0 interceptions is definitely where you want to be if you are trying to win a lot of ball games. Now, the rushing attack is a 1-2 punch with CJ Furdell and Travis Dye. These guys, you got to account for both of them at any given time. Both over 5 yards a carry rushing, and both have big play potential with 3 touchdowns each. So I like Oregon's offense scoring over 38 points a game. They do a really good job. Johnny Johnson III, Micah Pittman, the tight end Terrence Ferguson as well. A lot of players for Oregon are involved in the passing game and the running game, so they have a nice committee here. I like what the defense has done in the last game, specifically getting 3 interceptions, but overall they need to up their turnovers, and also they need to up the sacks. 7 sacks on the season is not going to get it done in an air raid conference like the Pac-12 where teams are wiling and dialing. You got to be able to generate pressure on the quarterback. I think that this number needs to go up. Now, like I said, the offensive line definitely needs to get better, but they look good versus Ohio State, which is the main game that mattered up to this point as far as talent relativity and rankings are concerned. So as long as they clean this up, they have a tune-up game versus Arizona. This is a perfect chance for them to get their shit together for conference play. Now, a further look at the schedule shows that this could easily be a team that just had its toughest test with Ohio State and Fresno State, honestly, because UCLA just lost to Fresno State. They have to play them on the road. It's a lot less intimidating, I believe, than going to Ohio State and winning that game. So the rest of the pack has a lot less to be desiring, considering the only undefeated so far is Oregon. Arizona's winless, that's their next game. Cal is 1-2, that's coming up. Stanford's 2 wins are versus Vanderbilt, and in conference USC that just fired their head coach. So that's the next 3 games for Oregon. I believe that they're going to run through everybody, and then if you break down the rest of the schedule, we can see that a home game versus Colorado looks like a win to me, even though they play good teams very tough usually. At Washington, Oregon should handle that. Versus Washington State at home, they should handle that. At Utah on the road, and then versus Oregon State at home. This is a very cupcakey schedule. At UCLA could be tough. Colorado sometimes plays the best teams tough. At Stanford may give them a little scare early, but I really believe that Oregon, because of their strength of schedule being so easy, they have relatively no one in their way. They should be able to go 13-0. Seeding will be determined, once all these outcomes play out with the rest of the top 10 teams, but I believe that they should definitely make the playoff. They're going to go undefeated in my opinion. Then they looked really good versus their only true test of the season so far, and they're not going to have another one until the playoffs. So even if they are fraudulent, that's not my point of this video. My point is that they aren't playing anybody. If you look at Alabama's schedule, they have to play at Auburn, they have to play at Texas A&M, they have to play Arkansas at home, and even their gimme games like at home versus Tennessee or at home versus LSU or at home versus Ole Miss, these are all going to be games where they have to play their best football. So I don't know. In my opinion, I think that Oregon has a clear path to the playoff. I don't see how they don't make it. This is definitely a team that if you're an Oregon fan, you should be very excited. As long as Anthony Brown returns healthy, the offensive line shows more consistency, and they can get some more pressure on the quarterbacks, I think that this team will have no problem running through the Pac-12 and making it into the college football playoff once again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back with a college football week 4 lines, and I will see you then. Peace.
I'm living life like this. Maybe give a little glimpse, maybe give a little glimpse.